Kurt, I think one of the great things is the way the IndyCar community has received this, because it's like everybody's fired up that you're going to do it. Because I remember Cale Yarborough and Donnie and Bobby Allison and Leroy Yarborough back in the day when they would, Cale tried the whole season. But it was kind of this neat deal. Mario and AJ and Parnelli, they'd go run NASCAR and back and forth, and it just hadn't happened in a long time. So I think everybody's fired up about the spirit of adventure you got in this whole deal. Do you get that feeling?
I do. It's been great to have the support and just the way that the garages have really communicated from this. I haven't seen that a lot with the NASCAR community and the open wheel community talking, but those guys that you mentioned are the inspiration of why I'm trying this. It's to challenge yourself in motorsport. It's not to say that the NASCAR guys are better than the open wheel guys. This is a fun adventure, and it's a challenge to go up against the best of the best in open wheel, and I found one of the best with Andretti to help me do this.
Yeah, you picked a good team, brother. But here's the other thing. I went to the Prelude a couple years ago, and I took Randy Bernard, who was the CEO then of IndyCar. He said he wanted to meet you, your brother, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Casey Caney. Wanted to all invite him to come run Indy 500 someday. Your brother said, I could never do it. Joe Gibbs won't let me until I win a championship. Jimmy Johnson's wife won't let him. Sad but true. And you're the first guy that stepped up to do it. What's been the feedback from those guys? Because Earnhardt even said, I heard Dale Jr. say once, I'd love to run Indy someday. Have they been pretty curious about how it felt and what's it going to be like?
They're interested for sure, and to see how all this plays out. I mean, we've had John Andretti do it before. Robbie Gordon with his experience. Tony Stewart came from the open wheel world and went to NASCAR. Our schedule's so long and demanding, it doesn't allow for much extracurricular racing. And if you're going to do one race, yeah, it's that Prelude. You do it for charity with Tony Stewart, or you're doing a one-off sports car race, maybe the 24 Hours of Daytona.
Or a drag race.
Or a drag race, the Pro Stock thing a couple years back. That was fun. That was fun to go 200 miles an hour in a quarter mile. This is just a different discipline, and you have to take the time to commit to get practice laps. You have to have a program such as this, Andretti Autosport, to give you the chance to get up to speed. And the world of really the IMS people have been so helpful in allowing for this to happen. I don't think this would have happened 15, 20 years ago when there was this big rift between open wheel and stock car.
I think you're right, but the other thing is, I think they're smart enough to know it's going to help sell tickets, because you're a big name, and the media is going to follow you too. And I think some of the media is going to come here and try and do the double with you. But here's the other thing that's kind of interesting to me is when you take a step back and you think about, okay, you're going to jam a lot of things into a short amount of time. Just give us a little idea what your schedule might be like here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, the logistical challenge of this is daunting. I'd love to just have to be able to focus on Indy during the month of May, and that might happen one day. But the challenge of going back and forth, it's already started now. We'll have this practice session this week, then to Talladega, then back up to Indy, then from Indy to Kansas. Kansas is a Saturday night race on the Cup circuit this year. That allows me to be back at Indy on Sunday. But that whole week, that is when it's full-on Indy focus for me on those 5 days of working with Andretti Autosport, the teammates. I mean, Ryan Hunter-Reay, he just won. Congratulations to him. To see him and Andretti Autosport win, that's what we need. We need the comfort level of the team to be ready for this, as well as for me, with my win at Martinsville a few weeks back, that's allowed the relaxed atmosphere to happen on the Stewart-Haas racing side. So just a logistical challenge back and forth, that's a big task. All-Star weekend, that's when we really go back and forth a lot. And then we got this 1,100-mile thing in one day. That should be a piece of cake by then.
I was at Sebring when you tested Bobby Rahal's car, and in like 20 laps, you were already faster than the slowest guy out there, and you adapted to it pretty quick. I saw Bill Elliott run 2:12 at Michigan one day in an Indy car. It's like Mario and Parnelli and AJ always say, if you're a race driver, you can drive anything. But there's something in your psyche that makes you, I mean, I think Jimmy Johnson said it best. He said, Dario Franchitti told me I could run 220 pretty quick. He said 225 that'd be the tough part, the next 5 miles an hour.
It will be, and that's part of the challenge. I think what we're still not understanding and grasping is traffic. Once they drop the green flag at Indy, respecting the draft. These are 1,500-pound cars that fly around in the air. Yeah, they have a lot of downforce, but I've never driven in traffic, and I don't know what that will feel like. We can simulate it with 4 or 5 cars in practice. That is where the real education will start. And that's what Michael said when I got out of the car last year, similar to a movie line, you know, hey, you did fine by yourself. Let's go see how you do in traffic.
All right, well, I know this. It's going to be a fun month of May. Kurt Busch is going to make it even more fun. This is Robin Miller for RACER.com. Thanks for watching.